Hi there, happy Friday. I'm going to speak with you today and this is a live Q&A, so you are more than welcome to leave any questions that you have in the comments below. Likewise, if you are watching this on the replay after the event, then please comment below and ask any questions. I will come back and respond. And today I am starting off with looking at how you can apply the lessons learned from the 5 love languages by Gary Chapman. This is a book which talks about how you can improve your relationships by understanding what is your primary love language, and then treating your partner using their primary love language so that they recognize that you love them and that you are appreciating them, and that they can feel that and understand that, almost as if you're basically, so that you're speaking the same language. And I am going to look at how you could apply this same theory to your home. So we'll get into it. There are 5 different primary love languages that Gary Chapman has outlined in his book, and I'm going to go through each of them and then talk about how you could apply that to your home, and so that you can make your home a place that you love and you feel when you're at home, you feel loved, you feel, you know, that sort of peace and enjoyment that you feel when you're in a good relationship. You can have that good relationship with your home. So the first of the 5 love languages is words of affirmation. This is quite a difficult one to incorporate into a house. So you need to start to think about what are the sorts of sounds that you hear at home. And the thing about the love languages is that positive elements of those love languages. So for example, if your primary language of love is words of affirmation, then you will really enjoy it and appreciate it and value it when somebody says to you, oh, you look fabulous, you are doing such a great job, and that kind of thing. So how can you get your home to also speak to you in that positive way? And then on the flip side, if somebody was to say to you, oh, you're awful, or I hate you, that kind of thing, then you will also feel that much more deeply than somebody else who, for them that isn't really a primary love language, and they might prefer other demonstrations of love. So things that you could do in your home to make this make your home more lovable for you, if your primary love language is words of affirmation. So you need to think about the sounds that you get at home, and there are lots of different sounds in the home. Often we tune them out. It might be slightly annoying sounds, things like the washing machine in spin cycle. If your windows are not very good, you might hear quite a lot of traffic noise, or neighbours' car alarms going off, neighbours' dogs barking. A lot of times a lot of noise will be coming from outside. Also, you might get, say, alarms inside. You might have a squeaky door, or if you leave a window open, sometimes maybe one door bangs. So those sort of negative sounds, things that they might actually then be much more frustrating for you if words of affirmation is your primary love language. So what you can do is look at ways to cut out those sounds. So improve, it's called the acoustics. Acoustics is basically what we call is the jargon for sound in building terms. So you can improve the acoustics of your home, and you can do things like sound blocking. You can reduce the amount of noise transference. Noise transference is the amount of noise that passes from one place to another. So if you can hear a lot of noise from your neighbours, you could do some soundproofing to your party wall and reduce the sound. Sometimes it's quite difficult to achieve, but there are lots of ways to do that. If noise is coming from outside and that's unpleasant for you, then what you can do is improve your windows and your doors so that there's not as much noise passing through them. That may be coming from little air gaps, or it may be that you've not got, you maybe only have a single glazed window or something like that where the noise can pass through much more easily. Then on a more positive side, then you can look at how you can incorporate much more attractive sounds, things that sound better for you. Maybe it would be important for you to get a really good quality sound system, perhaps install surround sound throughout your home so that you can play your favourite music and you can hear it in any room that you wish, at any volume that you like. Maybe you can change hinges or change door handles. I know some of the car manufacturers spend a lot of time perfecting the sound of the door of the car, that clunk as the door closes. You could do something similar in your home and listen to how does it sound when you close your door, maybe your door to your bedroom, or maybe it's the kitchen cupboards. You can get soft closers on your toilet seats and also on kitchen doors. You can get soft closing, what's the word? I've lost my words. Soft closing kind of mechanisms so that the noise is not so irritating, and actually you can find that much more pleasant experience. Little things like, what noise does your kettle make? Does it make a noise? Maybe if words of affirmation are your primary love language, maybe you want your kettle to make a noise and you can feel really great about them making your cup of tea. How your microwave beeps, all these different things, all the gadgets that are in your kitchen, your utility room, often they will have some sort of forms of beeps, and taking listening to those and getting ones that you enjoy more are more likely to appeal to you and help you enjoy your home more. Things like your doorbell is going to be a key one. How your phone sounds. You probably, most people these days have mobiles and don't necessarily have a landline. How your mobile phone, the ringtone that you use, that could really help you have a more enjoyable life at home. So the second love language is quality time. And I think this one is actually one of the easier ones to manage with your home, and it's about how do you make space in your home where you can enjoy your time. And there are so many different ways to do this, and it sort of does depend on what it is you enjoy doing. But perhaps you enjoy sitting and looking out the window, maybe watching the squirrels run around the garden, or maybe you enjoy sitting with your children playing around you where you're all together. Maybe you enjoy sitting at a breakfast bar with your partner and having a chat over a cup of tea. All these different things. Perhaps you can even go to the extra steps of having like double-ended baths, so that you every opportunity you've got a possibility to enhance that primary love language of quality time. And if quality time is your primary love language, then things like you might want to design out are spaces where you find it difficult then to enjoy spending time with your friends and family. So perhaps if you find yourself spending a lot of time in the kitchen and the kitchen's a bit small and actually it's irritating in there, and having extra people in there makes it a difficult space to work with, then perhaps what you need to be looking at is making your kitchen bigger so that you can have more quality time, spending time in the kitchen. If you love cooking and you love entertaining, maybe you need a bigger kitchen where you can actually spend quality time with friends and family and at the same time do something that you really love doing. So that's quality time. I think quality time as a primary love language as it relates to your home, that's quite an easy one to deal with. Receiving gifts. This is quite a difficult, I found when I was sort of thinking through what different ways could you reflect these 5 love languages in your home so that you can really love your home and improve your relationships at home as well. This receiving gifts to me was quite there weren't very many ways that I could think of to deal with this one. So if you've got any ideas about how you could do this, improve this, and if this is your primary love language, then please comment below, because I'd be really interested in what ideas you think of. But the 2 key ones for me were to make your post box much better and easier to access, so that any posts that you're getting into your home, I feel like that's a kind of a little gift if you get a little letter through the door. So, and it's not my primary love language. In fact, doesn't figure on any of my love languages. But if receiving gifts is your primary love language, then perhaps you are more likely to be getting things through the post and enjoying that. So making it easy to pick up things from the post, making sure your post box is big enough, making sure that it's protected from any little dogs that you might have who might be a bit enjoy chewing on bits of post that might come through the door. That could be one way of making your home better suited to you if receiving gifts is your primary love language. Another way would be to have lots of display. So if you do receive a lot of lovely gifts and you really value them, treasure them, then having somewhere to display them could be really important to you, because those gifts will be really meaningful for you. They will remind you of the person who gave them to you, or of the moment when they were given to you. Maybe it's a commemorative thing for an anniversary or something like that. And so being able to display them and incorporate some kind of shelving systems, or having some beautiful big walls, perhaps with really good lighting, so that you can highlight things that pictures and things that you really want to treasure. That could be another really good way of reflecting receiving gifts as a primary love language in your home. The 4th one is physical touch. So again, this one to me seems relatively an easy one to incorporate into your home, because there are lots of things that we touch a lot at home, and some of those are things like door handles. I know that a lot of people maybe don't spend lots of time thinking about what door handles you have or what taps you have, but if your primary love language is physical touch, then you're going to get a lot of pleasure out of enjoying the touch, enjoying how things feel. So thinking more about that when you're choosing things for your home, and it might be things hardware that you use a lot, like door handles and taps. They're always things that are worth spending a bit more on, because they move a lot and they're more likely to break than things that are static. So if you spend a bit more on those things, say for example in a kitchen, if you spend a bit more on the cupboard door handles and on the kitchen tap, and a bit less say on the carcasses, then your kitchen overall maybe not going to cost you as much, but you will enjoy it and you'll notice the difference more because you've got that physical interaction with it. Also looking at things like your carpets and curtains, soft furnishings. You can get so many different textures, velvets and wools, things that are fluffy, all these things that are really enjoyable and pleasurable to touch. If physical touch is your primary love language, then using that and really thinking about that is going to really help you to enjoy your home and love your home, and feel like when you're at home, you're in a place that has like value to you and where you feel really at home. Okay, and then the last one, the 5th one, is acts of service. So this one again, there are lots of ways that you can do this at home. This one seems again more of an easier one to do, but whereas some of the other ones, say maybe quality time, is more more reflective in the amount of space that you have and how you can fit into that space. And physical touch is more to do with the things that you actually touch. Acts of service to me seems to be much more about the kind of technology that you incorporate at home. So things like washing machines, you know, being able to throw a load of washing into your washing machine, turn it on, and it does it all for you. You don't have to do very much. That is clearly a really massive act of service. It's totally changed women's lives over the 100 years or so since we've had washing machines, and it's clearly an act of service. Acts of service is my primary love language, and having a washing machine, like if that was to break, that would be like my idea of a nightmare, not having the washing machine to do my washing for me. Things like dishwashers, hoovers, and all those sort of technological things. Now you could go a step further and have one of those sort of whole house vacuum systems incorporated. I don't know how well they work. They seem to be quite popular in the United States, but they're not very common in the UK, and I don't actually know anybody who has one. If you have one and you've got experience of it, I'd love to hear what you think about it. If you pop some comments below about, you know, what your whole house vacuum cleaner, you know, the ones where they have a little hole near the skirting board and you sort of connect it's all sorts of sucks into that. I think more interesting actually for me are those little robotic, can't remember what they're called now, but the little robot hoovers that you just sort of set them and they just go off and hoover everything up for you. That sounds like a dream to me. That'd be something that I'm tempted to get hold of one day. And then if you want to go the next step and you want more of a personal touch, then perhaps instead of technology, you might want to be starting to look at getting people who are going to help you. It's like perhaps a cleaner, a window cleaner, a gardener, a housekeeper even, you know, depends on your budget obviously, and it depends on how much work you need to have done in your home. Maybe a cook. There are so many people who can offer so many services at home, and you know, these are really time-saving services, and if acts of service is your primary love language, then this could be something that you would really appreciate and really not begrudge spending money on and enjoy. It might really add vastly to your quality of life and your enjoyment of your time at home. So those were my 5 takes on the 5 primary love languages: words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts, physical touch, and acts of service. I would love to hear what you have to say. If you've got any questions at all, please fire away. I'm happy to answer questions. And if you've got any comments about any of these ideas, if you've got any ideas of your own that you would like to add, that you or if you any of these, you know, if you've got one, just let me know which is your primary love language. My primary love language is acts of service, and you know, I just somebody doing something for me, like emptying the dishwasher, that's just the best thing ever, as far as I'm concerned. Couldn't care less about getting presents, but something like emptying the dishwasher, that's far better for me. So yeah, leave comments below, and I look forward to speaking with you all next Friday. And please, if you're watching the replay, again, comment below, add #replay, and I will come back and I will respond to comments. Okay, bye for now. If I can turn this off.